excellent strength and perfect clarity is the 5x5.
It's the 5x5, and I'm your host, David. I'm coming to you today, the day after Thanksgiving. Um, I recorded, this is going to be really familiar to the show that I recorded yesterday, but I deleted it because the audio was so poor. But I think I found out what my audio problem is. So thank you guys for enduring another episode. I'll probably talk about something else too, in addition to what I talked about yesterday. But thank you guys for listening. Um, in honor of Thanksgiving, which was yesterday, I want to thank to all my followers, subscribers, um, Facebook page, people who've given me a like there, people who are listening to Darla, Nikki, and I on Real Talk. And hopefully we'll be able to make the transition completely over to Spreaker from the other site in the coming weeks. But it's cold. I just I just got back home. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cold outside. I still have my hat on. I'm still cold. God, that's kind of weird. My hat on with my headset and my microphone. But anyhow, so what are you guys doing today? You guys um still asleep? Are you guys still suffering from the effects of Thanksgiving Day food? Because that food will tear you up. Actually, I didn't eat. Well, I did eat, but I didn't eat till very late yesterday. And normally I'm not this kind of person. I don't bring the drama. I'm the one that tries to squash the drama and because I don't like all that kind of nonsense and fighting and family members and stuff like that. But yesterday, yesterday, um, I had to get up early because my mother had told me she was sick, so she couldn't cook. And I'm like, okay, because I think I told you guys a couple nights ago that she had asked me was I cooking the macaroni and cheese, which I had never even said anything about any macaroni and cheese. But she says, "Are you gonna cook?" I'm like, I didn't say that, but she was telling me to do it rather than ask me. So, and that's why I had my mind set and I had my time schedule set because I knew my sister and my niece they work in retail. They had to work at 5:30 yesterday evening, so I knew I had to get up relatively early, but not early. Macaroni and cheese only takes you what hour max to mix together, put it together, throw in the oven, cook for what 30 minutes. Um, that's what I had in my mind I was going to do. But obviously, when my mother got sick, all the brunt of the major cooking I had to end up doing. Although I didn't have to worry about the turkey because the turkey was already cooked, but I had to cook the dressing. If you make old school dressing, you had to get the turkey broth, you had to get broth, you got to cut up onions, you got to cut up celery, you got to get the pepper storm, you got to make cornbread, you got to mix it all together, put some sage in it, put an egg, and mix it all up and throw it in the oven. That has to cook, and then I have to have candied yams. Um, or sweet potatoes for Thanksgiving and all the major holidays. But so I had to cut those up, get them boiled, get them baked, prepare them, throw all the stuff on them, get that cooked. And of course, I had to do the macaroni and cheese, which that took longer than when I explicitly because the cheese would melt. It was totally insane, but I got it done. But at that point, I was done with food because you taste stuff and I was like, ugh, I don't want. So that was one thing I didn't want to. I didn't want to eat because I was done. But um my sister, when get my mom and dad and we were going to go to my sister's house, we got out there late because I had to do all the cooking. And so our cooking because my sister cooked part of it as well. And so we got her late and she had a time crunch. She wanted to go. She volunteered to work. She did not have to work. But money's money and you do you. And so she had a little bit of an attitude, so that kind of turned me off right over because, like I said, you guys, my mother is, she's chronically ill, so she may not be here next year. So lose your attitude. But then that puts me in a funk. My whole mindset changed. But then we start talking about something I talked about several days ago. And if you guys have listened to the Walmart store or the Walmart customer service story I did a few nights ago, it had to do with that. And somebody had obviously lied on me and said that I was the one causing problems when I just asked you to do your job, but you had the nerve to call me out in my face. And so I was blamed. I was lied on. Blah blah blah. And so that just kind of turned me off because how dare you listen to somebody else and not to me? So because I don't lie and I will not have my integrity compromised by hood people ever. I'm not that guy. And so I the food that I had because I get we made it to my sister's house at 3:09. We finally sat down to eat around, I guess, well, three. We start eating as soon as we got there. 3:09, about 3:15. At 3:25, my food was in the trash, and 3:30 I was back in my house watching the Thanksgiving episode of Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. So I wouldn't beat for it, and I felt bad. I did apologize to my mother because I don't normally bring the drama, and like for the reasons that I said she should lose the attitude, I kind of threw that out the window because I wanted to be mad, and that was totally wrong. But I did end up hanging out with my mother all evening talking about sales and things we were going to do for Christmas. We have decided we are not doing a big meal for hey Five Radio, how you doing this afternoon? It is afternoon. Oh, sorry. This afternoon. We've decided we're not doing traditional things, not Christmas dinner. We're not doing it. We're going to um I suggested we do a really good lasagna, Caesar salad, some fabulous like garlic bread or something like that. Maybe couple other little Italian sides. So we're gonna have an Italian Christmas. We're not going to do the traditional. I'm done with it. I'm not cooking all that food. It's a waste of money. Have some really good wine. Hopefully, my parents aren't wine drinkers, but I am, so I will have some really good wine. And then we're gonna be done. You know, we might cook the because traditionally, my mother and I always cooked a ton of Christmas cookies 2 days or the day before Christmas. We would be cooking our cookies while we're wrapping gifts and hanging out by the tree and talking and stuff. That's been my mother and I's tradition for the last, I don't know, at least um, well, it's been for a long time, except when I moved to Atlanta. The two times that I came home while I was in Atlanta for Christmas, I actually got home before Christmas. We did it too, so we're probably going to do that and some other things. But no more traditional Thanksgiving dinners. No visiting. It's going to be friends. I'm going to concentrate on my friends for Christmas, and of course my mother. And we're going to start our shopping hopefully soon. Um, with that being said, let's take a quick. Well, let's see. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do. Yeah, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, Noel, Noel.
really like that version of Noel. That's kind of a indie version of the song. Very good rendition, kind of more of that kind of acoustic feel. Yeah, I like that. That is by Snowflake featuring Frozen. So check that out. You'll be able to see the um, artist and song information on. If you click on the show, you'll be able to see that. But we were talking about what we're not doing, what I'm not doing for Christmas, because it is definitely time. They say, ooh, I like those bells. It's so Christmassy. I love those bells. I had to play, but but well, supposedly we have six less shopping days than we did have last year. But I ain't trying to buy a whole bunch of people a whole bunch of stuff. I'm gonna, of course, my mother and my niece and my nephew. I do want a new television for myself, and I was gonna get a PlayStation 4, but I've been hearing some horror stories, so I'm gonna wait for the second edition to come out. So that opens up $400 to buy something else. Um, but because I've seen where a lady got trampled and possibly died at a Walmart Black Friday event. People, it's over now. They'll have a lot of other crazy sales, but it is not that serious. You don't need all that. Oh, what's up, um, Radio Rebel? How you doing this afternoon? And yeah, it is nice seeing somebody from Indiana, High Five Radio. I have High Five and Radio Rebel in the chat room right now. Thank you guys for joining me. Yeah, I don't. I think I thought I was the only one from Indiana on Spreaker, but obviously I'm not. So thank you guys, and thank you High Five, my fellow Hoosier, but I identify more with Atlanta, Georgia, even though I was born, bred, and educated here. How's that little thing going? The Midwest is good to raise a family because there's not a lot of crime, not in my particular area. I followed you too, High Five. But it is. It's okay. It's just boring. There's nothing to do. I says when I used to live in Atlanta, I used to tell people I lived. There's nothing. It's the three C's: cows, cornfields, and churches. That's all that's in this area. Um, but so, like I said, the Black Friday, it's not that serious. They're going to have deals, and not that because I think I went shopping last year, and I scored some pretty good Blu-rays, but. There are some really good deals. Like the Nook was on sale yesterday, the HD one for $79. I contemplated it, but it doesn't have a camera or a microphone on it. So, might as well get a Kindle HD, which they're going to be on sale. So I think they're $100 or something like that. And they had iPad minis for $2.99, but then someone had regular iPads for $2.99. So I'm like, there's a lot of things, and people being crazy. I've seen these lines erupting around the buildings on TV, and people getting trampled, people getting shot. At a Kohl's in Illinois, someone was shot. Trying to shoplift, and just be very, very careful this year, you guys, because people will target your car. They don't care. I learned that from living in Atlanta. If you leave anything, so much as a CD on your seat, the crackheads, the thieves, the thugs, the bad meth heads, whatever, they will bust your window out to steal a CD. But that just gives them a reason to bust. So if you don't leave them anything to see, you're not opening yourself um, open yourself to be violently. I don't know what I'm trying to say. To get your car broken into. So don't leave anything. Just keep it in your trunk if at all possible. And if you're buying the big purchases, buy it, then hit it, back home to secure it, because things are rough still out there, and people are looking for any opportunity to take advantage of someone. So keep that in mind. What else is going on? The other night, I had the craziest craziest dream. It's very bizarre. If you guys listen to the show, if you listen to had listened to my Fanboy Weekly show, or the on Blog Talk Radio, or my Fanboy Friday here, or vice versa, I can't remember which one. I talked a lot about Buffy. I have a lot of Buffy sayings. The name of this show is from a Buffy thing, although it is a excuse me, an aeronautical thing. It is the first time I heard 5 by 5 was from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, when Faith the Slayer would they would ask her how she was doing, or she would respond and about how she was feeling, and she would go, "Hey, I'm 5 by 5," which it does mean the first five is about, out of a 1 to 5 scale, about how strong a signal is, and the second five is about visibility, how strong how clear is your visibility. So when you say 5 by 5, everything's good. You had the signal strong, and I can see, and the view is good. So I had to research that so I wouldn't sound stupid when somebody asked me what 5 by 5 meant. So that's what that means. But it comes from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because I'm a huge Buffy fan. I love SMG, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Allison Hannigan, which is on How I Met Your Mother now. She was Willow on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But so this was a Buffy the Vampire Slayer inspired dream, because Buffy was in it. Faith the Vampire Slayer was in it. Buffy was kidnapped. She was shot twice, well, shot once, but they were some crazy melting bullets that and for some reason I'm thinking they were chocolate. Don't ask me why. Um, she, yeah, go ahead, Radio. I'm sorry, 1 second. Radio Rebel, go ahead. What do you want to talk about? While he's getting his thoughts together. Um, Buffy. Okay, this is 1 second, guys. Radio Rebel says he is selling voiceover starting at, I guess that's £2. I guess that's English. Logo starting at £1. I don't know what the E means. I'm sorry. Um, Keep calm posters if you want. Email. Well, for any information about logos and voiceovers and posters, keep calm posters, give Radio Rebel an email at Radio Rebel, RadioRebeluk at yahoo.co.uk, or visit Radio Rebel UK .wix.com / Radio Rebel. Hope that works. I'll put a link to your website in the show notes. But back to the crazy, 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 crazy dream. So they had these bullets that were like melty bullets or something, and I want to say chocolate, but they melted red. So if you see somebody shot with this bullet, it looked like they died, but they did. But anyhow, so Buffy was kidnapped after we got her from the. She was in the past, but we had to go to the future. But she was kidnapped. It was very strange. You know how dreams can be, and so I had to work with Faith the Vampire Slayer, because because we had to find Buffy because she is the Slayer. I know this is so weird, and that's very weird. And so um and so 1 second, Radio. And so she gets me. She's like, "You need to help me find Buffy. There's these bad guys, and one of the bad guys was the Big Show from WWE wrestling." If you guys know the Big Show, they go, "It's the Big Show." That's a big old guy with the goatee, bald head, and kind of heavy set. Well, no, he's just a big old boy. He has one of the storylines right now on WWE, which will be on tonight. SmackDown will be on tonight. They're having a special Thanksgiving episode, so you guys check that out. And also today, and I meant to say this earlier, if you check out my website at recycleblogtalk.blogspot.com and go to the affiliate page, or any of the affiliate links that you see any of the blogs on, They are having excellent Black Friday sales online. WWE Shop is one of them. PacSun, Cookies by Design, Styling Online, Be Frugal. There's a wine. Check them out. They're giving some great deals. I'm sure they're doing stuff for Black Friday and also for Cyber Monday. So, but just be sure to click the link through my sites. That way, the 5 by 5 gets credit for it. Um, but anyhow, so we're here. We're going to find Buffy, but like I said, Big Show was one of the villains, and then the other villain, and I don't know where I got this reference from. It was from Trapper John. If you guys are around my age, you would probably remember the medical show called Trapper John MD, and you remember the Gonzo character. Oh, I had his name last night, and it's totally went out of my head. The Gonzo character from Trapper John, MD, he was a bad guy as well, and I'm like, oh my god, and he was the one doing all the shooting. I'm like, why is he shooting everybody? And I couldn't understand it. It was very, very bizarre, but he was just shooting the Slayers, and 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 so he was trying to. Gregory Harrison is his name. Gregory Harrison from Trapper John MD. He's been on some stuff here recently, in the recent years, but he's not an A-list actor anymore. Um, and one more thing from Radio Rebel. It says his car had been stolen yesterday from Riverside, Wakefield. It's a gray BMW. The reg is YE08 WJA. If you see it, please let him know as soon as possible at Rebel UK at yahoo.co.uk. Oh, sorry, Radio. That has to suck. I have a friend that had his car stolen about a month ago. It was around right prior to Halloween. So I know that's difficult. So good luck on getting your car back. We're going to finish the dream when we're coming back, playing one more song, and then we'll wrap up for the afternoon.
I heard the bells on Christmas Day. Their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace, peace on earth. I thought somehow the day had come for truth behind our Christendom, but blindly we just roll along with the broken song of peace, peace, and in despair. There's no peace on earth, I said. You separate the right from wrong, for hate is strong and marks the song of peace on earth, peace for men and women everywhere, goodwill to
I like that. That's actually really good. That's another one. That's from Love Shadow featuring Snowflake. The Noel before was by Snowflake. So check those out. I love that music from Love Shadow and Alice Baroza, Snowflake, that kind of beat. And that the vocals on that were kind of on point. But to um, finish up my dream story. Faith and I are running from this Gregory Harrison dude in the big show, and we had to run back to our hotel, and we get to the hotel, and I'm like, what is thing is, you think your dreams, you pull a dream. Actually, it was an old dorm I stayed in college. That's what it kind of reminded me of in my mind. That's, I guess that's where my subconscious picked those images from. But when we had to go to the room to change clothes or whatever, because we got to go find Buffy because we found out where she was. And so so we get in, get in the room, get all changed. Then we're pulling. No, then we're going to the concierge, and he tells me that every time you come and you have to leave, you always have to take your luggage. I'm like, that doesn't make sense because we're checked in this hotel. Why are you telling me to get my luggage? He's like, well, you got to get it. But the funny thing was, he was dressed in a cheese outfit, like a big piece of cheese with his face sticking out. And I'm like, how are you going to tell me to do that when you're dressed like a piece of cheese? And this is insanity of it all. Um, and then his other partner was dressed like a hot dog. Don't ask me why. It's very bizarre. And Faith leaves me. She jumps in the cab while I'm trying to get my little roller luggage thing out, and then I end up having to catch the bus. And someplace I didn't know, and I knew we're in a Spanish speaking country. I'm saying Mexico, but it was a Spanish speaking country, but nobody was speaking Spanish. That's another weird thing. I don't know where that came from, but I had to catch the bus, and everybody was looking at me crazy. And just as the bus door closed, I woke up. But that's probably because that night prior to that dream, I went and ate Burger King. So maybe that's why that dream was so weird. But thank you guys for listening today. I want to do a quick shout out to my boys of the crew. That's Donovan from the Off Limit Show and Ken Boggle, who is on Spreaker.com now with the Ken Boggle Talk Show. So check him out. We're doing the crew together. Thank you guys for supporting the crew. Hopefully next week, we'll be talking to Sorted Live star Jason Dotley. I think that would be. We're going to record on Tuesday. We'll have that episode up on Thursday. So check out the crew. You can type in the crew in the search or the crew show. Follow our Facebook page. It's the crew show. The website is thecrewshow.net, and the 5x5 and the 5x5 and the Twitter page is at the crew_show. So check us out. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you like. We're enjoying it. We're having a good time. Also tweet us, or even tweet me, or send Off Limits a message, Kim Boggle or myself a message. Things you want to ask us on the show. So like I said, we're having a good time doing it. I think you guys will like it if you give it a chance. And again, Radio Rebel, I'm sorry about your car. He said he lost a lot of tools, some electronics, and keys for his house and work. And that's just horrible. That's just horrible. People have no. Get a damn job. Stop robbing and stealing from people. Get a job. Be somebody. Even if it's a piece of a job. I know a lot of my friends who are not. I wouldn't say successful, but they handle their business and they work every single day. Some of them work 2 and 3 jobs. There's no reason for you going out here stealing and robbing and hurting people because you can't get your life together or you refuse to get your life together. It doesn't make any damn sense. And then the immortal words of Sweet Brown, ain't nobody got time for that. And whatever happened to her? Who knew? I guess we don't. And I want to give a quick shout out to my boy who just made it to iHeartRadio. That is Dwayne Hadley. Congratulations on making to iHeartRadio. So check out the Dwayne Hadley show as well on Spreaker.com, and also on iHeartRadio. Kudos to him. We're trying to get there too, buddy. Maybe nothing. Well, it's a big deal. I want to do that to prove to myself that I could do it. But anyhow, I think all the time we have today. I have to work here in a little bit, so I'm not too terribly excited for that because Friday starts my work week, and I've been working a lot of overtime. So I did have Wednesday and Thursday off, but because I worked 4 10-hour days, but I've been working a lot, picking up midnight shifts. So it is Christmas, and there's things I want to buy. So happy holidays, everybody. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving yesterday. Mine could have been better, but you know what? It's in the past, and we're going to move forward. So we're going to be playing a lot of Christmas music coming up in the future. Thanks High Five Radio and Radio Rebel for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate you guys. Good luck when getting your car and everything back, and we'll see you next time.
Check us out on Facebook at The 5x5, or tweet us at The 5x5, or go to Recycle Blog Talk for past shows. Thanks for tuning in.